Can you imagine living in a time when it was not typical for women to be involved in sport? It was not long ago that women were expected to be housewives and tend to household needs instead of working. It was a time when women and men conformed to gender roles and were expected to act like a lady or be a man. Well, that was the world that Miss Mary Garber describes as Sue Marcy takes us through her personal journey of becoming a sports writer in Miss Mary Reporting, a biography for adolescents. The book is filled with vibrant pictures and starts with Mary's childhood in the 20s. She was an active, sports-loving girl, and she loved to play with the boys on rough ground and watch and read about sports. She attended games with her father, and he taught her the ins and outs of understanding what she was watching. At a young age, she started developing newspaper articles about events in her neighborhood for fun, which sparked her dream to become a news reporter. She followed through with her dream, but that didn't mean that there wasn't a lot of obstacles. For instance, there was not a lot of women in the news industry, and she had a lot of mountains to cross because of her gender. At the beginning of her career, she found herself writing about dresses, which was obviously not her forte. And it was not until World War II that she got her big break. When men went off to the war, she found a sports writing job. She struggled in the beginning, but she did prove to be resilient, and she stuck through it, and she got really good at it. However, since the war ended, she was relocated, and her position was given back to the man that had it before he went to war. But she did not let that stand in her way, and she came back to sports a year later. And it was in the year of 1947 which she got to observe a very pivotal time when Jackie Robinson was signed to the Dodgers, and he became the first black player to participate in the major leagues since the 1880s. Mary, she looked up to Robinson because he handled himself with dignity, and he kept his composure when he was given racial slurs and treated poorly because he was the only black person in the league in a racist society. And she related to him because she faced obstacles because of her gender, while he faced obstacles because of his race. She routinely found trouble with completing her job in the way that she needed to, because either she would be assigned something where it just was not under her job title, like sewing up somebody's uniform, or she wasn't allowed in the male press box, or she couldn't do locker room interviews and then was set back with her story behind men. But she didn't let those obstacles faze her, and that is what I really liked about the story. She still would prove that she was worthy to develop a reputation, and she ended up using her voice for the good, and she covered African American sports teams that usually were not covered. She's in the Sports Writers Hall of Fame, and she encourages women in the industry, and even not in that industry, that you can do anything that you set your mind to. I also like the book because it shows all of her triumphs and her struggles, and it shows how she became a pioneer for women everywhere. And it reminds us the importance of listening to other people's stories.